Because you played with her, nigga. You played with her. So I don't give a about nobody and your comments about she shouldn't have went there, she shouldn't have did this, she shouldn't have did that. Man, because if the shoe was on the other goddamn foot, you would have did the same thing, especially when your heart is tampered with.
When 42-year-old Keiona Wilson drove to her husband's alleged girlfriend's house that August morning, she expected to confront them both. Instead, her husband stayed out of sight, as both women had a serious confrontation. The man Keiona had called her rock never came to help. This is the story of how a marriage that looked perfect on social media became a tragedy that has people asking one simple question. What kind of man lets this happen to his wife? A woman going to fight over a man who clearly didn't want to be kept. This is probably the first thing going through your mind right now, and you're not wrong to think that. But when you hear the full story of what happened on August 25th, 2025 in Nashville, Tennessee, you're going to understand why this case has people so heated about more than just another love triangle gone wrong. Before we get too deep, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you find value in these discussions. 42-year-old Keiona Wilson was living what many people would consider a good life. She had been married to Amadeo Wilson for 5 years, and from the outside, they appeared to be the kind of couple that made other people believe in love again. Keiona and Amadeo were married on June 9th, 2015. Many who knew Keiona described her as a devoted mother and a loyal wife. According to her best friend, there wasn't a hood she couldn't go to that didn't love her. By all accounts, everyone welcomed Keiona with open arms. Their social media told a story of happiness and commitment. Keiona would post anniversary messages that made you want to find that kind of love for yourself. One of her posts read, "On this day 5 years ago, we started our journey to forever. This has been an amazing experience that I wouldn't trade for the world. You have been my rock through the good times and my support through the bad. You have shown me a true example of a great partner, dad, man, and friend. Thank you for truly adoring me every day from the beginning and each day forward. I love you, Amadeo Wilson, and happy anniversary." Amadeo would post about her too, though his messages were noticeably shorter. On her birthday, he wrote, "Happy birthday to my beautiful wife, Keiona Wilson." That's it. Nothing about being grateful for her, nothing about their journey together, nothing about looking forward to their future. Just a basic birthday acknowledgement. In response to her anniversary post, he made an anniversary post of his own, writing, "Happy anniversary to my beautiful wife. 5 years went by so fast and many more to come, I think." That little phrase, "I think," has caught attention. Many have questioned why he would end the post that way. Some suggest that it hinted that they may have been having potential problems in the marriage, while others dismissed it as casual phrasing. On February 13th, 2021, he uploaded what seemed to be a loving photo of the two of them, captioned with, "Valentine's Day dinner with the Miss." By 2020 and 2021, there were constant photos, statuses, and playful exchanges that showed them acknowledging their love for one another. In 2021, he made a post saying he was grateful to have a good job. Underneath that post, Keiona left a playful comment calling him adorable before joking that maybe he wasn't. He replied back and said, "The lies you tell." And she replied again saying, "Okay, well, you are not adorable. Maybe just okay. I was trying to lift you up, King." It was a lighthearted exchange, but many now point to that job as a possible turning point. In 2021, he would make his final public birthday post to Keiona. On October 9th, 2021, he wrote, "Happy birthday to my beautiful wife and my grandmother." Just as he had done in prior years, he acknowledged both women together, but after that, the birthday posts publicly stopped. This was the last time he publicly recognized her birthday, something he'd done for years. Now, I'm not saying the length of a social media post determines how much someone loves you, but when you look back at their online presence, knowing what allegedly happened, certain things start to stand out differently. What Keiona didn't know was that while she was posting these heartfelt messages about their journey to forever, Amadeo was allegedly involved with multiple women, and one of those women had a criminal history. Most people would see that as a massive red flag, but apparently not Amadeo. Her name is Keiona Greer, and this is where the story gets complicated in ways that most people wouldn't expect. Keiona Greer wasn't just some random woman Amadeo met. According to multiple sources, she had a criminal history that included some serious charges from 2003, along with other alleged criminal activities. She served 6 months in prison and later had issues with probation violations. Now, I'm not saying having a criminal past automatically makes someone a bad person, but when you're allegedly dealing with someone who has been charged with serious criminal charges, and you're a married man bringing that into a situation involving your wife, that's a questionable choice. Keiona was also connected to that same workplace where Amadeo worked. A photo has even circulated showing her wearing the same company shirt that he wore when he said that he was grateful to have a job in 2021. Fast forward to 2024, it seems like Amadeo had his mindset on moving forward, focusing on himself, enjoying his life. Posts started popping up with captions like, "Just out rolling," and "Another day of enjoying life." But Keiona, on the other hand, was still holding on to her marriage. On January 26th of 2024, she updated her cover photo to one of her and her husband together, something that her cousin allegedly said was done to show a way of acknowledging that she was wanting to fight for her marriage. According to the close sources, Keiona knew about the affair. She had confronted Amadeo about his relationship with Keiona, but he allegedly refused to end it. According to her cousin, Amadeo had made a promise to Keiona that whatever had happened in their marriage to cause them to have issues, he was going to fix it. He was going to stop the lying, the cheating, and the games. Keiona believed her husband had promised to stop the cheating and the games. She was holding on to that promise, ready and willing to fight for her marriage. On the morning of August 25th, 2025, Keiona got in her car and drove to Keiona Greer's house on Scalf Drive in Nashville. When she got there, she found exactly what she expected to find: her husband's car parked outside. Now, this is where Amadeo's character really gets questioned. When Keiona got to that house, she could have just knocked and left when nobody answered. She could have taken pictures of his car being there for evidence. Instead, she used her spare key to move his car from the back of the house straight to the front. That was her way of saying, "I see you, I know you're both in here, and we're going to deal with this today." Keiona walked up to that front door and knocked. At this point, most people would expect to see both the husband and the girlfriend come to the door. After all, they're both adults who made the choice to be in this situation. Instead, Keiona Greer spoke to Keiona through the home surveillance system. That's right, she wouldn't even open the door. And according to multiple sources, during this conversation through the speaker, Keiona allegedly told Keiona that Amadeo wasn't there. But Keiona had just moved his car from the backyard to the front. She knew he was in that house. The two women began arguing through that surveillance system, with Keiona demanding that Keiona send her husband out, and Keiona allegedly continuing to claim he wasn't there. According to sources who have analyzed the footage, Keiona could be heard saying calmly, "Where is he at? Tell him to come out. Where is he at? I'm not trying to cause you no drama at your house, but where is he at?" According to police reports, Keiona fired a shot through the storm door. This was allegedly intended as a warning shot, and it missed Keiona completely. Once Keiona was inside the house, a physical struggle erupted between her and Keiona, and during that struggle, Keiona fired a second shot. This time, Keiona was struck in the abdomen. However, Keiona's family believes otherwise, because the camera footage shows something different.
Come on, nobody. Come on. Where you at? Come on. Now, show me where you at. You need to go that way. I ain't worried about that. No, you need to go that way. Come on. Now, ain't nobody gonna come no. Well, girl, you're not gonna be doing this over my goddamn house. Well, okay, he's gonna call you or whatever. Well, you need to call him. But you're not gonna do this here. I'm not trying to. Well, how you not trying to? You just did it. No, okay, I don't know. There you go, right there. Right there. Outside by the top.
Watch the glow from the gun, the fire from the gun. Watch it.
No, come on.
Here it come.
Look, move your goddamn foot.
Right here.
Look, move your foot. I'm not gonna play with you.
Y'all seen that? Boom! You heard it! Boom!
The first shot actually hit Keiona while she was still outside the house and not inside during a struggle as initially reported. According to their analysis, there was a flash of light visible in the footage that they claim showed when it happened. They say her adrenaline was so high after being shot the first time that she still entered the house, not immediately realizing she'd been hit. They also disputed that Keiona kicked the door in, claiming instead that Keiosha voluntarily opened the door for her. They say the video shows Keiona pointing at something and saying, "I ain't worried about that," which they interpret as her seeing what Keiosha already had in her possession. And where is Amadeo Wilson during all of this? According to multiple sources, he was allegedly still hiding somewhere in that house. He didn't even show his face. The first attempt was pretty much a signal that she needed to remove herself from the situation, but Keiona was apparently so determined to get to her husband that she didn't leave after that first shot. After being hit, Keiona still managed to get out of that house. She got herself to her husband's car and drove herself away from the scene. She had to try to save her own life because the man she'd been married to for 5 years reportedly couldn't be bothered to help her. Keiona drove until she saw a police officer near the Madison precinct, and she flagged them down for help. The officer immediately called for an ambulance, and Keiona was rushed to Skyline Medical Center. But the injury was too severe. Despite the medical team's efforts, Keiona Wilson didn't make it. When police arrived at the scene that day, they found Amadeo still at Keiosha's house. According to sources close to the case, Amadeo never even went to the hospital. The woman who had called him her rock and her support through the bad times was fighting for her life, and he wasn't there. Some people close to the family have said they believe he was more concerned about the legal implications for himself and Keiosha than he was about his wife's condition. This is where things get really complicated and where people think the system is failing Keiona Wilson's memory. So far, no charges have been filed against Keiosha Greer for what happened to Keiona, and the reason why might make a lot of people frustrated. Because of a certain law in Tennessee that if someone breaks into your house and you feel like you're in danger, you can protect yourself with whatever means you think is necessary. Since it is alleged that Keiona forced her way into Keiosha's house after that first attempt, reports state that the legal system might be looking at this like Keiosha was just defending her home, which means that this might be ruled as self-defense, and Keiosha could possibly walk away from this completely free.
While Keiosha might not face charges for the actual incident, she is a convicted felon, and convicted felons are not supposed to have access to a weapon. So the question everybody's asking is, how did she get it? And why isn't she being charged for illegal possession? If charged with this, it can carry serious prison time. Amadeo deactivated his social media page shortly after the incident. Some people think he did this to avoid the backlash that was coming his way once people started talking about his alleged behavior that day. Where was he when his wife needed him? Why didn't he try to stop this before it got violent? How do you let your wife get shot and then not even go to the hospital with her? Keiosha has also responded to the controversy through social media. In a recent comment defending herself, she said, "I don't mind because they don't matter. Y'all matter to me. My family matters to me. So, real talk. As long as y'all know the truth, forget everybody else." She didn't even express any remorse about the incident. Looking back at some of Keiosha's own social media history, 5 years ago, she made a post saying, "All my life, my mom warned me about boys and little girls who turned into foes. She always used to tell me all the time that I need to get me a white man. She was right. She's never told me anything wrong." In August 2022, she posted, "Learn to be done. Not mad, not bother. Just done. Protect your peace at all costs." In January 2023, she posted about seeing House Party at a theater, saying, "Date night life at 40. Some people have wondered if this could potentially have been a date with Amadeo, though the timeline of their relationship isn't confirmed. On June 14th, 2024, this was the last post that she made on her public account. Honesty is a very expensive gift. Don't expect it from cheap people.
Just before the tragedy, Keiona had sent 2 of her children off to college and was looking forward to working on her marriage. And now, those same kids have to deal with losing their mother over a situation that could have been prevented if the man she trusted most had made different choices. During questioning, Amadeo allegedly told investigators that he was inside the house when the incident happened, but he claimed he tried to stay out of the confrontation between the 2 women. When your wife and your girlfriend are fighting in the same house you're allegedly hiding in, and they had such a serious confrontation, saying you were just trying to stay out of it is probably the weakest excuse you could come up with. Most people would expect a man to either send his wife home or leave with her to handle the situation properly. But apparently that wasn't the case. People close to Keiona's family say Amadeo never even made it to the hospital. While his wife was in surgery, while doctors were doing everything they could to save her, he allegedly was nowhere to be found. The man she'd been married to for years allegedly didn't think it was important enough to show up. The people who did show up were Keiona's family members, her children, and friends who actually cared about her. When Keiona's family started making funeral arrangements, they reportedly had to specifically tell Amadeo that he was not welcome at the service. When this story started circulating on the internet, people started sharing their own experiences and opinions about what went wrong here. The overwhelming response from people, especially women who have dealt with cheating partners, has been the same. Keiona should never have gone to that house. Most people are saying things like, never go to nobody's house about your man, and if he wants to be there, let him stay there. And honestly, they're not wrong. But what's really got people heated isn't just Keiona's decision to confront the situation. It's Amadeo's alleged behavior throughout this entire ordeal. And they're asking questions that he's never publicly answered. Why didn't he come to the door when his wife first arrived? Why didn't he try to de-escalate the situation before it got violent? Why didn't he help her after the incident? Why didn't he go to the hospital? Why did he deactivate his social media instead of addressing what happened? Because in the end, the whole situation circles back to him. Keiona's family has been vocal about their feelings regarding Amadeo's behavior. According to her cousin, who described their relationship as more like aunt and niece, she said, "My biggest thing about this whole situation is why didn't you just come out the house? See, it was you who she wanted. If you had brought yourself out of that house, that would diffuse both of them, women going back and forth with each other. You locked yourself in a room and let them women battle it out like they did. Now one has to deal with a court system and the other one has lost her life."
It's bruh. Why didn't you just come out the motherfucking house? See, it was you who she wanted. Yeah, they probably end up boxing, got the fight or whatnot later on down the line. But if you had brought your motherfucking ass out of that goddamn house, that would have diffused both of them women going back and forth with each other. Because at that moment, she wanted you. She wanted you. See, if it had been me, and I know I'm wrong in this situation, and you come, your wife or significant other come to my door, beating on my door, want her husband, he got to come up out of there. He had to come out of there. Especially after them fighting or whatnot, he wouldn't have been locking himself in no goddamn room. No, nigga, you come up out of here. I ain't facing this by my motherfucking self. You lock the door, bruh. And let them women go through what they went through. That's a straight goddamn in every fucking way of a. That was a.
Women who feel desperate to save their marriages sometimes make fatal choices, while the man who created the problem in the first place avoids taking responsibility for the consequences. Keiona was married for 10 years to Amadeo. They had built a life together. Finding out about an affair didn't just hurt her feelings. It challenged everything she thought she knew about her life and her future. And when the person she trusted most refused to fix the problem he created, she felt like she had no choice but to take matters into their own hands. That doesn't make it right, and it doesn't mean going to someone's house is ever a good idea. But it helps explain how someone like Keiona, who by all accounts was a smart, accomplished woman, could make such a choice. Keiona probably thought she was fighting for her marriage. She probably thought that if she could just get Amadeo to choose her over Keiosha, they could work things out and rebuild their relationship. But what she didn't realize is that you can't fight for someone who doesn't want to be kept. The investigation into this case is still ongoing, and more information is still unfolding. I hope these stories help you recognize warning signs and encourage you to seek help or offer support before it's too late. I'll see you in the next episode of Crime of Passion. Thank you for watching.